In this video, I want to remind you that the life you dream of is possible. It is important that you're aware that it is possible. But at the same time, I want you to know that you must put in the effort, because otherwise it won't work. It is important that you know one thing about me. I believe that I can achieve great things. I also believe that you can achieve great things. On my YouTube channel, I make videos that hopefully help you or inspire you in some way. So if you're interested, consider subscribing to my channel so you can benefit from my videos and also support me at the same time. Listen, we can't be everything we want to be. Now, your mother may have told you that once when you were a child, but unfortunately that's just wishful thinking. But we can set big goals, very big in fact, and we can achieve them. But for that to happen, we have to put in the effort. I've always had big goals, but I'm only now starting to realize that I have to work extremely hard for them, like really hard. I'm not trying to say that so far I've been lazy, that's not true, but I could have done a lot more. And if I had, I'm convinced that I would have achieved an awful lot more so far. As I said, I started to realize that I have to put more effort into it. And I also work harder now, but I know that I could still do more. And my message to you now is this. I want you to understand that you're probably not doing as much as you could. And if you're completely honest with yourself, you know that you could do more. You might say that you don't have enough time, that you're too busy, that you have too much things to do. And frankly, I always use that as an excuse. But be honest, how much time do you really waste? How much time do you spend on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, or how many hours do you play video games or watch Netflix? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. I just want you to be aware that these are distractions. They suck up your time that could be used in a better way. Listen, I want to achieve great things, and maybe you do too. What's going on with the light? Maybe you do too. Let us remember that we must put in the effort to get the life we want. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you're interested in topics like self-improvement, psychology, fitness, business, and stuff like that. And don't forget to leave a like. And yeah, hopefully I see you in the next one.
And then rule 3 is analogous to that. Work as hard as you can, as you possibly can, on at least one thing and see what happens. Well, it is a corollary to that. It's like, well, one of the things you want to discover when you're young, or one of the things you want to discover at some point in your life, it's better to discover it when you're in your 20s, I think, is, well, just how hard can you work on something? You know, like if you pick something, I don't care what it is, again, you think, oh, I'm going to go flat out on this and see what happens. And that's also useful too, because there's no other way of really discovering your limits, right? And you kind of want to know what your limits are. I think one of the things you need to do in your life at some point is push yourself farther than you can go. You know, so you kind of push yourself past the point of exhaustion. You think, oh, that's good. There's the point of exhaustion. Well, you can't stay there, because if you stay at the point of exhaustion for any length of time, well then, you know, you'll degenerate, right? Because that's just too much. But you can find that point, and then you can pull back, and you can think, okay, well, I can't go farther than that. I kind of know where my limit is now. I can pull back, and I can operate within that limit, but then at least you know where your limit is. And that's an unbelievably useful thing to do as well. And the other thing too is like, well, how are you ever going to discover if you could possibly be successful at whatever you want to be successful at, unless you push yourself in at least one direction right to your bloody limit? And it's another thing, you know, it's another thing that we don't teach young people, and it's quite striking to me because it seems kind of obvious. It's like, well, who are you? You're 19, you're 20. Who are you? Well, you don't bloody know. How do you know? It's like 6 years ago you were 13. You don't know anything. So what are you capable of? Well, you don't know. Well, how are you going to find out? Well, you're going to push yourself at something farther than you can go. And then you have some sense of where your limits are. And you know, your limits are going to be, they're not going to be where you think they are, in all probability. Well, some of them will be a little closer than you want them to be, but a lot of them, you'll be able to push yourself way farther than you think. And so that's an unbelievably useful thing to do.